Dragon Age The Veilguard. I put up my initial impressions of early on. I was very mixed.
That checks out.
I was kind of enjoying the general gameplay, environmental visuals were amazing from a technical stance, but the characters were kind of annoying me. Just the atmosphere, feel and dialogue was a far cry from Dragon Age Origins.
Well, wasn't expecting to fight an ogre today.
Now I've completed Dragon Age Veilguard 100%, got all those achievements, wasn't too hard, I've got more to talk about now. There's new things I love. There's some pretty awesome campaign moments, but also new things that completely infuriate me.
What? I wasn't listening.
Just wait until I get into that. But once again, I'm going to piss everyone off on both sides who either hates or loves Veilguard.
That's enough from you.
Storytelling and character writing are incredibly important in Dragon Age, so super quick intro to the story. This is the dark fantasy world of Dragon Age, with undead blight zombies, demons and dragons. Previously we learned our teammate Solus is actually an elven god, the Dreadwolf, and he wants to rip open the veil on our world, which may potentially ruin everything and kill countless innocents. Technically that makes us the Veilguard, and this is Dragon Age The Veilguard.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
Character creation is decent. We play our own custom character named Rook.
Just remember, it's spelled R-O-O-K.
And we're continuing the Dragon Age story with some returning faces. And to be honest, the returning faces made for my favourite characters in Veilguard.
I really am getting too old for this shit.
I think Solus is one of the better written characters here. You'll get to explore his past, which I quite enjoyed, and it helped flesh out the Dragon Age story.
Let's continue.
As Rook, you'll recruit and lead a team to save the world. And to be honest, I personally didn't feel super connected with the team. They felt a little bit too casual and sometimes inhuman.
Oh, people!
I missed the banter in the older games, in particular Origins. The character dialogue actually felt like real dialogue between friends.
I just miss the banter about friends.
Two characters I liked more than the rest were the Necromancer Emmerich and Grey Warden Davrin.
I must be sure to live up to expectations.
Davrin is a fairly cool guy and Griffin trainer. Davrin can call Asan the Griffin in combat for special abilities, which is cool.
Not paid enough for this.
And his story quests involve trying to rescue some stolen griffins. Emmerich is an older fellow, a necromancer. He's quite mellow and I'm very much into dark gothic fantasy. Personally, it was fascinating getting to explore undeath, necropolises, and liches with Emmerich. He also has an undead minion, Manfred.
The implications of what Rook's witnessed are... Ah, thank you, Manfred.
And I think my favourite character in the entire game was Manfred. Genuinely, I love Manfred and his story. You'll have to play the game to see that though.
Come, Manfred.
Here we go, there's one team member that you have to recruit, and honestly, they kind of soured my whole experience with Veilguard. And that's Taash.
Shut up.
Taash is recruited for their dragon hunting skills, and Taash is one of the most unlikable characters I've come across in any RPG.
She seems nice.
Throughout the game, Taash actively harasses my other teammates for what they are,
Sorry I called you a skullfucker.
who they are,
Death Mage won't give me one.
It's Emmerich. Taash.
or what they wear.
So what I wear is a problem for you?
Taash just doesn't give a crap.
What? I wasn't listening.
Taash comes across as condescending,
It sounds like you've got her trained.
You train a dog. You reach an understanding with a dragon.
Taash completely ignores my orders,
They haven't seen us yet. We can run.
Hey!
and it sounds unbelievable, but I have to actually step in and tell Taash not to bully my teammates.
Emmerich would appreciate not being bullied and called names.
Turns out Taash is non-binary.
So, I'm non-binary.
What does that mean?
And wants everyone to refer to them with their pronouns instead of she/her. Okay, but I find it a bit hypocritical after Taash hasn't respected my other teammates at a basic level for who they are.
Shit. You're right.
I found Taash really frustrating. Like I said, really soured my experience, and Taash reeks of terrible character writing. It's almost as bad as the segue. If you're enjoying this, consider subbing to Peter Bytes or liking the video for more content like this. Cover lots of RPGs, you might like my Final Fantasy series where I'm replaying them all and ranking them against each other as I go. Thank you!
Alright, break's over.
Okay, so in the previous Dragon Age, Inquisition, they went full-blown open world. Thankfully, with Veilguard, they dialed it back a bit. There's plenty of areas to explore with side quests, puzzles, treasures, there's little open world elements, and I like it, and you're not overwhelmed with monotonous activities. Gameplay boils down to solving the occasional puzzle, destroying blight boils to open the way, fighting a few enemies, and a bit of dialogue.
No way.
There are 3 starting classes to choose from: Mage, Rogue, and Warrior, and through Veilguard's talent tree, you can take them further with each class having 3 sub-specializations. I went with Mage, and I started out spending a lot of time dodging attacks while trying to weave in my own attacks and the occasional spell. Through the talent tree, I leveled up and worked into building a Deathcaller Mage with a side of frost magic. I couldn't build a full-on necromancer with undead minions, but I was still happy with what I could do. So at first I couldn't cast many spells, and to be honest, it was a little frustrating. I spent most of my time dodging attacks and desperately trying to weave in my own attacks in between dodging. For me and my mage, early level combat took a lot of effort. A bit into the game I got some new frost spells to crowd control enemies, and I really liked these frost spells because with my build they didn't cost any mana to cast. Eventually I got some new death related spells like Spirit Bond, and a new ultimate skill, the Crypt's Herald. Pretty cool, and towards the end of my build, I learned to supercharge my regular attacks into laser beams of death.
Watch your back. Nice move.
These overpowered death beams cost loads of mana to sustain, but thanks to my talents, I could cast these death beams indefinitely by spending my health points instead of mana. Pretty awesome considering I had lifesteal, so I'd drain enemies' health which balanced the cost of the death beams, and I could just destroy everything indefinitely. So I really like where my build ended up. In fact, I felt the game became a bit too easy once I got my build ramped and rolling. And one other thing, you can knock enemies off cliffs and instantly kill them, which is super satisfying. General combat was admittedly pretty fun as a mage. Despite there not being a huge variety in monster types, you'll refight the same few monsters over and over. And I've got to admit, some of the demon designs feel a bit cartoony, whimsical and magical, especially when I put them side by side with Dragon Age Origins with demons that look like they came straight out of hell. And it feels like modern day BioWare are playing it really safe and wouldn't dare include any of the more exotic demon designs from its past games.
Ugh.
There are some genuinely epic campaign missions, moments, and fights. I like Veilguard's overall story points for the most part, but the spaces in between those epic moments are mixed. I think the general atmosphere doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't feel like Dragon Age. In previous games we explored the depiction of oppression, racism and poverty with the elves, and enslavement between Templars and mages. There's nothing on that level here, maybe a few subtle mentions about the past. In Veilguard, characters are more concerned about their brand of coffee.
Coffee.
I would kill for a decent cup of coffee.
Coffee shop. How's the coffee?
I dreamed about this coffee.
Coffee. For coffee, I mean. So what's the coffee for? Coffee.
Did you make me coffee?
I always make coffee.
You just described my dream cup of coffee.
You get a few different dialogue options, but most of the time you can only ever agree with someone in a different way or manner. I completely agree with you, I sarcastically agree with you, or I angrily agree with you. I appreciate there are a few major decisions you make that do actually alter the main story, but I am specifically talking about regular conversations here. You generally can't roleplay and disagree with someone. You'll run your own team and manage followers. I'll be regularly checking in with my team.
Thanks for talking to me and listening to me.
And dialogues aside, there were some fairly good follower quests. They often take you to completely new areas, and there's usually an overarching nemesis boss for each follower. Environmental visuals are incredible technical feats. These are some of the best visuals I have seen in 2024. I love dark fantasy stuff, so getting to explore a necropolis was pretty awesome. I love the undead, dark teal themes. Every now and then I've got to stop what I'm doing just to take in the gorgeous vistas. But like I said, the whole experience with the dialogue, the general atmosphere and safe tones just kind of brings this world down as a whole.
Well, that's awkward.
The soundtrack surprised me. There were some pretty great battle and boss themes. Kinda sucks Taash gets some of the best battle music.
Shut up.
I thought there was some pretty great dragon fights. There's a few more endgame optional challenges, but overall I found the game a bit too easy once I got my build ramped and rolling. But that leads into my road to 100% completion. So thankfully I was able to complete Dragon Age The Veilguard 100% in a single playthrough. You're looking at about 75 hours played, but if I had made some different decisions, I might have had to replay through the entire game again to get the perfect ending, which is an achievement. If you want that perfect ending, you're going to want to max out all of your followers and faction reputation, which means spending a lot of time with followers and side quests. For 100% you'll need to get all the collectible statues, which isn't too hard, there's not too many of them, and you'll need to also beat some optional endgame dragon bosses, which again wasn't too hard. Like I said, I managed to achieve 100% in a single playthrough, but personally I wouldn't recommend putting in the effort of a second playthrough for 100%. I don't think it's worth chasing that 100% completion.
These are the times in which legends are born or slain.
Okay, time to rank Dragon Age Veilguard and see how many Peter Bytes it has earned. So I thought the gameplay was pretty great, enjoyed the combat and coming up with my Deathcaller build, while I liked the move away from the monotonous open world formula from the previous game, and some genuinely great campaign missions. I didn't feel super connected with my companions. My favourite character was Manfred, who was barely even a companion, while I couldn't stand Taash, who actively belittled and bullied other characters. The bad character writing and dialogue really soured my experience through a large part of the game. This is my biggest criticism with the game. Environmental visuals are fantastic, occasional awesome battle music, but just the world and atmosphere feels wrong. It doesn't feel as visceral as previous games that had demons that looked like they came straight out of hell, or explored the oppression, racism and poverty surrounding elves, or Templars enslaving mages. Veilguard feels soft, it feels safe. I'm giving this 70 Peter Bytes. While that might sound a bit high, I thought gameplay was fun, some of the big action story missions were great, it's kind of a pretty good RPG, not so good Dragon Age game. Alright, peace for now.